Thank you for joining us. I'm Darielle Fair. Delegates at the Wisconsin Democratic Party Convention voted to support a ceasefire resolution to show their solidarity with Palestinians who have been affected by the war in Gaza. The resolution called for an immediate ceasefire as part of Democrats' official policy platform, but the party's Platform and Resolutions Committee advised against making the resolution one of the delegates' positions, arguing it could be considered a bias against the Jewish community. Here with me now is Juliana Shemides, a campaign organizer here in Madison for the Listen to Wisconsin campaign, and Representative Francesca Hong. Thank you both so much for joining us on the show today. So I want to start with you, Juliana. Your organization has been adamant about calling out the Biden administration and Democratic lawmakers for their handling of the Israel-Hamas war. It started with your campaign kind of leading the effort for this uninstructed vote in the April primary election here in Wisconsin, and then now you are kind of on the ground with these efforts to have the ceasefire resolution passed at the Democratic State Convention. Do you feel that the concerns of your campaign have been addressed now?
I think it's a terrific step in the right direction. So yes, I do think that the Wisconsin Democratic Party is signaling that it is hearing its voters. It's hearing the fact that young voters in this state are overwhelmingly in favor of a permanent ceasefire. We're talking about, 65% of young voters wanting a permanent ceasefire. And these are voters that are not simply Muslim. They're not simply folks with family in the region. This is an issue that is uniting a lot of voters across this state. So we do feel that we are being listened to. Action is clearly the next step. So we're happy about the resolution, but what we want to see is the Biden administration moving even more robustly towards a permanent ceasefire. And we want to see the Biden administration sending, for instance, the 600 trucks of aid that it has built into its ceasefire package right now.
And Representative Hong, I want to talk a little bit more about that vote that took place at the state convention. The resolution passed with 135 votes for and 91 votes against it. What was the cause for some of that division among your Democratic colleagues?
I think there was some concern around language on whether the resolution was more political or humanitarian aid based. And I am glad and was proud to see those votes for the resolution, for a resolution that called for an unconditional permanent ceasefire and an immediate release of more humanitarian aid for Gaza.
And Representative Hong, you mentioned the language. Republicans have criticized this ceasefire resolution because it did not condemn the October 7th attacks. Are Democrats concerned at all that this will impact their broader support among voters ahead of the November election?
Democrats care about security and safety for all peoples. Our party has always valued human rights, anti-racism, freedom, and justice. And so I think with this resolution, we are supporting the pro-peace, the pro-democracy, the multi-faith, ethnic and multi-generational group of voters here in Wisconsin that want this resolution to pass.
We've had organizers from your campaign, the Listen to Wisconsin campaign, on our show in April prior to the election. And I want to get your take in terms of voting uninstructed in the April election. Would that be a similar process that you guys plan to take going into the November election? I mean, is there not a concern that you would be handing former President Donald Trump the presidency by doing that?
That's a good question. As we see it, we are actually giving President Biden a winning ticket in the November election because he has seen through poll after poll, he has seen through grassroots activism that voters in Wisconsin and around the country really care about this issue. And about 1 in 5 voters in Wisconsin say that this particular issue and Biden's stand on it will sway their decision in November. So as we see it, we are actually helping Biden see how to win that election, because I don't want to see Trump in office. But I think that Biden will have a hard time getting to power if he doesn't really stand up and deliver the kind of permanent ceasefire that we need to see.
Juliana Shimidas, Listen to Wisconsin, and Representative Francesca Hong, thank you both so much for joining us on the show today.